military. And who told you that? The West. Democracy is the best form of government. Who told you that? The West. But yet they are enabling criminals, crooks, right? To do what they themselves will never try in their own countries, ever. The people in their countries were supposed to come first. You've seen that. When it comes to Africa, the people of Africa comes last. And the criminals representing Africa, they are there, ready to wine and dine with them, as long as they would allow them to keep their loot in these same Western countries. It is so rigged. It's unfair. So instead of you thinking that they are going to harm him, yes, they are going to attempt, they are already trying. Why not just kind of begin to build that mentality of when you see him, the first thing you think of is going to be not people who want to harm him, but the fact that he needs all that support that he should get. Maybe when the world knows that Africans cannot be divided, whenever, this is like a true independence struggle, so to say. There are these things that should have been done years ago, despite all the resources they are taking from their country. Look at their roads, look at their communities, look at their highways, look at their airports. Country that they are taking billions of dollars worth of mineral resources taken from their country, right? The place look like what? For decades. They can't say make you leave. You say you don't want to leave. A place that is the poorest in the world. Okay, leave. You say no, we are not leaving. What's that? Anyway, I have been seeing the Robodion going up and down when it comes to, talking about the David Hundeyin's interview. I'm not going to replay the interview because, it was like a chat about so many things. But it has sort of triggered conversation around, was MKO Abiola a criminal? I think that's what triggered so many people's reaction, right? Usage of word. He didn't just call him a criminal. He actually told you his involvement in this establishment a crime against the people of Nigeria. Anyway, the conversation was going on to the point that suddenly a lot, because Nigeria is more divided now. Sure, you get like so divided. However, if you say any truth right now, okay, even when people know you are saying the truth, there is a 100% tendency that they have no problem with the truth you are saying, other than why now? Why do you have to say it now? Sure, you get. And in the course of trying to, push back, then it will get to the point to say, if what you are saying is not even true, but let us kind of roll it back, okay? If if you see the criminals you call politicians in Nigeria today, and their godfathers and their and their supporters and all that, if you call them criminals because of the state capture level that you are seeing, right? So there is a chance that you won't want to put Abiola in that bracket, because MKO Abiola never had a chance of ruling Nigeria. That is where some people will be like, how can you call him a criminal? What do you mean? Yeah, and all of that stuff, right? But it is not just those who ruled Nigeria, ruined Nigeria. But there's something about Nigeria that me as a young man, I was raised to believe that MKO Abiola is a hero. Every piece of information out there was all good about Abiola when I was growing up. He was a philanthropist, MKO Abiola's story resonates with a lot of people who come from humble backgrounds. MKO Abiola was very poor, from a very poor home. He was gathering firewood, and he became a firewood merchant when he was going to school. Then he was so brilliant, that he got scholarship to come and study accounting in Glasgow University. I've been at University of Glasgow. Anyway, because there are two. There's Glasgow University, there's University of Glasgow. Anyway. So he came here to University of Glasgow to study accounting on scholarship. Now, when he returned back to Nigeria, he became an accountant for LUTH, which is like the General Hospital in Lagos. Then from there, he became friends with some of the military khaki boys. Then he became a government contractor. From there, he became very rich. Are you following the head? So, MKO Abiola became a philanthropist, okay? And to show that he has, well, his wealth is not just coming from collecting contracts from governments. He also had businesses. Yeah. But here, those are the beautiful things we were, kind of thought about MKO Abiola. Like, was a good man. He has over 100 children. He has over 50 wives. Once you say you are pregnant for him, he's going to marry you and give you a whole house and 1 million naira. 1 million naira back then was like giving you like 100 million naira now, kind of. So these are the beautiful stories. So if this man should be the Nigeria president, so they also cooked some stories for him too. Okay. Oh, MKO Abiola was so rich that Nigeria was owing him, like Nigeria owed him. That MKO Abiola was only coming to help Nigeria. In fact, there were hundreds, if not thousands, of ships that were bringing food to Nigeria the moment MKO Abiola became president. These were beautiful stories we had. MKO Abiola as a philanthropist, right? If he comes to your town and he worships at your mosque, that means if you anything you need, everything you need for that mosque, renovation, everything, he will do it. So he's somebody who was donating money to churches, donating money to mosques. Are you following? Those were good things back then. Nobody knew that he was actually distributing his own share of his own share of the largesse of them destroying Nigeria. MKO Abiola. I mean, today now you see politicians who are donating money, you'll be like, oh, that's what they are doing. They are the ones sitting in the front of the churches. They are the That was how it was then. So, but the difference was that MKO Abiola was such a cheerful giver that it's going to be so hard for you to hate him. This is not somebody who just goes to, like they say, if he's passing and you're having a naming ceremony and MKO Abiola is passing, just believe that your life has changed. These were the stories. But what were the stories we were not told about MKO Abiola? His contribution to the destruction of Nigeria, the hero of democracy. And, that one we were not told. You would have to read about that. And there were so many people that have found out, but they are like, all those things are inconsequential, Jare. Leave that one. Let's talk about the good things. I don't think Seun feels same. Now, this is somebody who is the son of a direct victim of what MKO Abiola, his wife, represented out of his role in paying and sponsoring coups, right? He sponsored coups, he sponsored politicians. That was how much he has so much money. He's not like all these politicians of today. They were burying money. He didn't run for office, but it was like a big money bag behind them that way, right? Anyway, so the mystery around his wealth is no longer mystery. Okay, it's no longer mystery anymore. However, some people just feel like, if the man is dead, just forget it and move on. I don't think. Yeah, he's dead. People have moved on. But that is why we are saying that in life, try and do good thing. I'm not saying be a criminal that is hiding behind philanthropy. I'm a philanthropist or whatever, right? Actually do right things so that we will not have to come and lie at your burial, okay? Seun has this experience of his own father in the hands of MKO. I don't know if you have seen this. Seun.
Son, coffin for head of state. I'll give you story number 2. Abiola and his wife, Simbiat. They go live for Fela head. See, I'm telling you, these are serious things will happen to Fela. But his mama died. Now they go live for head. Simbiat go talk, say, Fela and him boys robbed her of a Ferrari. So Fela carry him boys at gunpoint and robbed her of a Ferrari. Under Idi Agbon regime that time, this was Abiola and his wife's plan to kill my dad. Oh, her, because under Idi Agbon that time, armed robbery was punishable by death. No story, you are being killed. Simbiat Abiola and her husband, they put statement for police station. Oh, I say she see Fela and a gang. Fela and his gang robbed her at gunpoint. And so they arrest Fela for armed robbery, punishable under death. But luckily for Fela, he was performing in Cameroon the day Simbiat was lying that she was getting robbed by his gang. That's how Fela was able to escape that case. Because he can't be in 2 places at the same time. He's either he's on stage in Cameroon or he's robbing in Lagos. Which is it? So now see what Abiola do. Now no Fela reply. That time we see they build this our house for Gwemisola. Fela never get house that time. He stay one in frame flat. He just come back from jail. You see they stay in frame flat. You know, he never go jail that time. You know, he never go. But he didn't have money. They don't burn Fela house that time. It was after the burning of his house, seizing of all his property, everything. Fela was back on Square Zero, living with his friend. This story happened. Now, Fela can go that our house where we build that time, the foundation 9 CD. Can go the soccer away for the area, go pack sheets. I kid you not. If this are the lie, go and ask my senior brother, Bra Febi. Fela drag them along on this mission. So they go pack sheets, bucket and bucket of sheets. 12 buckets of sheets, in fact, exactly 12 buckets. Go and listen to the Fela song, Give Me Shit, I Give You Shit. Go and listen. Give me shit, I give you shit. Go and listen to the song. Because your father is not like this, your father is not like this. And you're the term of Fela. You don't know anything about the man. Only that Fela allows you to smoke Igbo and to chase girls all over the place. Because Fela chase girls and he's a great man. Fela smoke Igbo and chase girls. Do you know the work? How about the other side of the work that he did to give him the chance to, you don't want to do that side? Fela chase girls, Fela smoke Igbo. 12 buckets pail full of shit. Now my pack carry. They load that inside down for boss. Inside pickup. Fela get one pickup that time. Then they go Abiola house for night. With the 12 bucket. What if Fela won't do Abiola pass that one now? Pack 12 buckets of shit. Fela say, Bra Femi himself fall inside shit that day because as they escape, shit don't full everywhere. Say the shit drop. Fall inside. Say Fela they leave and they go inside the truck. He got stand up, go pursue the truck, turn on the truck. They say, you know, as they reach there, when they lock the gate, bang, you know, that the security first come and say, Fela, what did they do here? Look, you don't say that they're Fela. They don't see their face. But you don't say, what are you doing here? That's why the security, they do his security work. You just see shit, they fly come. Say as the shit first plaster.
Anyway, the real story of MKO Abiola that makes him as part of the criminal enterprise, right? The famous one is ITT. And the reason is just because, you know, Nigeria, that's the story. Nigeria was supposed to have, every home was supposed to have a phone line You know, like you have to lay the cable everywhere. If you need a line, you can easily just tap it, and that's you connected. That was the project. You know, it was that time that they have to lay the cable, they have to lay, just like they lay the pipes for your water back in the days. So this contract was massive, and it was supposed to be a partnership between the government and some foreign investors. So these foreign investors were supposed to have been facilitated by MKO Abiola. The project itself that was designed, okay, so they designed it. They presented it as the ITT project. And that's what Fela changed to International TIF. It's actually ITT project. It was meant to be telecommunication, whatever. It was massive that Nigeria lost more than $1 billion. See, back then, if you convert that dollar, if you convert that money to today's currency, you probably should be talking about, somewhere around there, $50 to $60 billion. It was like a scam. So it got approved. Nigeria paid their own side, and then they were supposed to start the connection. So they did it in 2-3 cities. And that was it. The job was done. The money was gone. So that became a scandal. And they said, well, they have not, according to they said, we have not really stopped work. It's just that we have a bit of a setback. We are going to continue the project and all that until Muritala and the rest of them, I'm just saying, this is how the conspiracy against Nigeria have always been. Then when it now comes to, in fact, it was even reported that some of the coups that took place, in Nigeria, that Abiola also sponsored, like funded. Do you understand that now? They said most of them come from, number one, if there's going to be any investigation against any of his interests, or his interest is pretty much like not in picture in any of that government, then the famous one, the coup that was famously sponsored by MKO Abiola, was that of Babangida against Buhari. In fact, it was the one that solidified the supposed relationship between MKO Abiola and the Khaki boys. It was with the Muritalas. It was with the, I think that's where they said Obasanjo developed the hatred for him. See, Obasanjo don't like him. Yeah, it's pretty much like, bloody civilian, this or that. So Obasanjo don't like Abiola simply because of what was quoted as his deeper involvement in the military activities in Nigeria. When we talk about like politicizing the military, blah, 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 he benefited immensely from it. It was like a robbery, So when Babangida overthrew Buhari in a very bloodless coup, it was believed at the time that it got the backing and the rest of that of MKO Abiola and others. So, and I think it was where we believed that there is no coup that happened in Nigeria, from what we have heard, that did not receive the support of the civilians too, and the money bags. So that's why if you're asking for a coup in Nigeria right now, you better be careful of what you're asking for. It could be these criminal politicians that are going to camp behind those khaki boys, and you will be expecting a Traore, but now Abacha you could get. So anyway, in all of this, right, like I said, the reason why if you grew up in the 80s, 90s, it is going to be very tough for you, okay, to cancel MKO Abiola. Whenever you are looking at the list of those who destroyed Nigeria, it's going to be hard, but it's neck deep in it, right? And also, Abacha, they said one of the reasons why Abacha decided never to hand over that power was there was an arrangement, okay? It was that Babangida was going to step aside after the, after the nullification. In fact, hang on, before we get to that, there was an election, there was a planned transition I think it was in 1990 or so. Was it 1990 or 1989 that Babangida said he was leaving? And then he declared a transition. Then he banned all of them and stopped it. Right? So they said MKO Abiola at the time as well could have possibly pleaded with his friend not to do that. But he sort of was one of those who agreed that there was too much money in politics, and Babangida was right. So the transition was shifted to 1993. This time around, MKO want to run because most of the political class, most of the top shots at the time, they have been banned from politics by Babangida. So some people kind of believe that there was an arrangement that Babangida was going to hand over to him. There's something changed. We don't know what changed. Abiola was widely sort of accepted. Let's be honest. He had this national acceptance. He's given money to a lot of organizations, a lot of people. You know what I mean? So that is what worked against him, though. His friends felt like he's such a very powerful guy, very influential guy within their rank, okay, that it will be too dangerous to allow him access power. This you can call them conspiracies, but there are books written on all these things I'm saying to you. There are books to back some of this stuff, right? So when this friend betrayed him and they went over to him, it was a concluded and foregone issue, right? I mean, foregone conclusion. But MKO Abiola himself was not aware. So still using that, the same establishment connection and all of that is influence in that place. They said he was actually the one who agreed that Abacha should go ahead and remove Shonekon. Instead of Shonekon going ahead to organize another election, Abiola wanted his mandate. Rightly so, though. I mean, he won the election. But his friends said he won the election because of his money. And it was because of the Nigeria money he managed to corner to his own side. Yeah. So he won, like Tifnubu did in buying the system, right? That's exactly what the felt MKO did too. But he was not going to have that. So he pushed on, asked Abacha to take over. And I don't know. So Abacha was said to have promised that he will remove Shonekon and he will hand over to him. And he believed him. So that is why MKO never condemned Abacha for removing Shonekon until Abacha said he would do a transition in 2 years. That wasn't the agreement. So back to the status quo. It was time for MKO to now put the last weight. MKO, me. These are the khaki boys. These are just like boys that we need these guys. Use the influence we have here and there to get them this or that. I back them, I support them, even though I cashed out a lot from being their friends, right? Why would they do this? So, but it was too late. Abacha was a deadly guy. The rest is history now. So what now makes MKO Abiola a criminal? There are established, again, there are established using this same, established fact as well, using this same influence to cover up some of what was called the International Drug Investigation. That one was the one that actually got many guys crazy. Are you saying that MKO Abiola is a drug dealer? There is an evidence towards that. But it wasn't specifically mentioned. That is, it wasn't specifically mentioned as MKO Abiola like Tifnubu is mentioned, right, in his own heroin deal. There were pointers to who the investigation was pointing at too. I could have brought some of them here. Okay. Well, yeah, if that interview sort of riled you, the ideal thing is probably it is time for you to go and read more about some of those people they told you were heroes in Nigeria or heroes past. Get hero way pass. Go take a look at them. And you realize that those they call heroes to you, they are villains, part and parcel of what you are suffering today. I know it could be very hard for you to take in. And to spoil his name, Baba, nobody needs to spoil the name of the criminals in charge of Nigeria. Now they try to deodorize the stench. Deodorize the stench. So you need to read more, okay? So everything they told you about Abiola, there are those of them that are true. Others are just to help polish that image. I mean, you want to keep, there are some of you who are going to, in case if you don't know this, so in 20 years' time, in 30 years' time, there are those who are going to tell there are those who are going to tell our children that if Numbu is a hero, all this heroin trafficking, forfeiting money, they were just statements to tarnish his image. They are going to name a monument after him. They are going to name maybe they'll do things to make him hero. And that's a kleptomaniac druggie. There are those who are already fighting. Don't call him a drug dealer. Stop calling him a druggie. What should I call him? So that my children will come later and say, oh, but he was a president, he was a Bokwari, that Bokwari. There are those who are going to tell your children, Bokwari was one of the greatest president of Nigeria. They will tell your children,